Okay, so the sun has come out, so I have added my hat for my protection, taken my jacket off, and I'm going to show you guys the side of my house now. If you follow me back here, there's something that is called in plant world called a volunteer, and it's something that just comes up without having been planted. And I think maybe the birds eat the tomatoes and then poop out the seeds, and the seeds then grow, and then plants emerge because of that. So this is an example of a volunteer. This is a tomato plant, a cherry tomato plant. This is how full it is down here. And if you look up, it has grown all the way up to here. I mean, probably like 9 or 10 feet tall. This is such a beautiful and healthy plant. You can see the flowers are where all of the tomatoes are going to be formed. So this will have an enormous amount of tomatoes, probably in a month or so. So this is this crazy vine is called Morning Glory, and it's it takes over everything. It's so pretty and it's crazy. So you can see like this right here, the Morning Glory has just wrapped its way around the tomato plant, but they've merged and formed a symbiotic partnership and they're both flourishing. And you can smell, I don't know if you guys have really smelled tomato leaves, but they are so potent and so beautiful. And I've been growing tomatoes probably most regularly for the past number of years, and I give them to my neighbors and all my friends. They are the most flavorful tomatoes. I would buy them in the store and then taste them at home, and the difference was so stark. It was like the flavor was beyond anything that I had ever experienced buying it in the store. So I will supply all my friends and neighbors with these incredibly delicious tomatoes. So I'm hoping to gift, baskets full to people. So this is just such a beautiful, beautiful guy out here. I know how much I've been learning about the quality of the food that we buy in a grocery store versus something that we grow. People haven't known that they can grow their own food. And that was a way that I was raised. I remember my dad being in the garden and he would pick a tomato off the vine. It was like an apple. Essentially, he would salt it and we would eat it like an apple. We would have huge bites of it. It was the most incredibly flavorful tomato that I'd had. And I had not tasted a tomato like that until I started growing my own tomatoes again. And I understand that the tomato grown in 1950 has like 50 times more nutrients than the tomatoes that we buy now in our grocery store. So it's something that you can taste the difference. The tomatoes in the grocery store, even organic tomatoes grown, they're shipped from who knows how far away. The difference in the taste is palpable. It's incredible. It's like two different species is the way it tastes. So I have just been so delighted to share my tomatoes, and everyone has remarked on that as well, how flavorful they are. And one of the things that me and my neighbors do on the street, like I've got a neighbor down the road, a few houses down, that has a huge avocado tree. So when it starts fruiting, she gets a big bag of like kind of more not as ripe avocados. She'll chuck the bag over the fence into my front yard out of her car. She literally will slow down, chuck a bag of avocados, and then they ripen because they'll ripen here. They're delicious. And I bring her oranges from my orange tree. I share tomatoes with my neighbors. And I've wanted to do, I know maybe some of you know about the little free libraries that people are putting in their front yards and sharing books, like, take a book, give a book. I want to start doing that with produce and with vegetables, to make like a little house outside on the easement in the yard and the front yard, and have people be able to come by and get the extra oranges that I have, to have tomatoes out there, that I have extra celery or greens, and that people can start to share and partake in things that I've been growing. So it's so delightful to do that. It's the most rewarding experience to share what I've grown. Truly, it always feels like such a special exchange of something to love the growing process, to delight in these plants. And then I'm like, tell them how grateful I am all the time. They fruit for me. feel like it's such a magical experience, and then to share that experience with my loved ones is truly special. So I always feel delighted when any plant produces any kind of fruit or vegetable. It always just feels like a miracle.